Have you ever been surrounded by people yet felt completely alone? You're not alone in feeling this way. Loneliness is becoming one of the most widespread emotions of our time, affecting millions of people across all walks of life. But what if I told you that there are simple, effective ways to combat this feeling and bring more connection and joy into your life? Today we're diving deep into the topic of loneliness. Whether it's the result of living far from family, losing touch with friends, or even feeling disconnected in a crowd, loneliness is something that many of us experience at some point in our lives. And while it's a natural emotion, the good news is that there are ways to combat it effectively. Did you know that 1 in 3 adults feels lonely, and that loneliness can increase the risk of health problems like heart disease, depression, and even dementia? This isn't just about feeling sad. Loneliness is a serious issue, but the first step to overcoming it is understanding what it is and why we feel it. Meet Sarah. She recently moved to a new city for an exciting job opportunity, but soon after she arrives, Sarah begins to feel the sting of loneliness. She spends her days working from home and her evenings alone, scrolling through social media, hoping for some kind of connection. Despite the bustling city around her, Sarah feels more isolated than ever. Sarah's situation is more common than you might think. Loneliness isn't just about being alone, it's about the quality of your connections with others. It's the gap between the social connections you have and the ones you want. The good news, this gap can be filled with some proactive steps. Loneliness can trigger a stress response in your body, similar to the feeling of being in danger. Your brain starts to perceive the lack of social connections as a threat, which can lead to feelings of anxiety and depression. But don't worry, there are effective ways to counteract these feelings. The first and most important step is to reach out and reconnect. Sometimes we get so caught up in our own heads that we forget to nurture our relationships. Start by reaching out to old friends or family members you haven't spoken to in a while. A simple, "Hey, how have you been?" can go a long way. Another great way to combat loneliness is to join a community or group that interests you. Whether it's a book club, a sports team, or a volunteer organization, being part of a group can help you feel connected and give you a sense of belonging. Mindfulness and self-compassion are powerful tools against loneliness. Taking time each day to practice mindfulness can help you stay grounded in the present moment, while self-compassion allows you to treat yourself with kindness instead of judgment. Remember, it's okay to feel lonely, but it's also important to take care of yourself during these times. Social media can sometimes make loneliness worse by creating a false sense of connection. If you find yourself feeling down after scrolling through your feed, try taking a break from social media. Instead, focus on activities that make you feel good and bring you joy. Loneliness is something we all experience at some point, but it doesn't have to define us. By reaching out, joining communities, practicing mindfulness, and being mindful of our social media use, we can take meaningful steps towards building the connections we crave. Remember, you're not alone, and there's always someone out there who's ready to connect with you. If you found these tips helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to From Dr. John's Desk channel, and share your own experiences in the comments below. How do you combat loneliness? Let's keep this conversation going and support each other in finding meaningful connections.